Unbelievable. The top 5 moments that shook the sports world. Let me tell you something, folks. Sports, they've got a way of grabbing you by the throat, yanking you to the edge of your seat, and leaving you speechless. We're talking about those moments, those absolutely unbelievable, jaw-dropping, did-that-just-happen moments that define what it means to be a fan. Today, we're diving headfirst into the top 5 most unbelievable moments in sports history. We're talking legendary athletes, iconic teams, and upsets that'll make your head spin. We're going to break down the plays, the drama, the sheer audacity of it all. Because these moments, they weren't just about wins and losses. They became part of our cultural DNA. Stories that transcended the game itself. And let me tell you, as someone who lives and breathes this stuff, these moments, they stay with you. They remind you why we love sports in the first place, the passion, the heartbreak, the unbridled joy. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a wild ride down memory lane. 1980, Lake Placid, New York. The Cold War is simmering. Tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union are thicker than a bowl of grits. And the Winter Olympics become this battleground for global supremacy. Now the Soviets, they were the undisputed kings of hockey. They were a machine, a well-oiled red machine that had won the gold medal in 4 consecutive Olympics. Enter the USA team, a bunch of college kids, amateurs going up against these seasoned professionals. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gave them a snowball's chance in hell. The media, the experts, they all had the US team pegged as a sacrificial lamb. But Coach Herb Brooks, he had a plan. He instilled a belief in those young men, a belief that they could skate with, shoot with, and maybe, just maybe, beat the unbeatable. And then came the game, the miracle on ice game. The Soviets came out flying, scoring first, asserting their dominance. But these American kids, they wouldn't back down. They fought back, clawing their way back into the game, trading blows with the Soviet juggernaut. The tension was palpable, the energy in the arena electric. Every check, every shot, every save was a battle for national pride. And then it happened. Mike Eruzione, a kid from Winthrop, Massachusetts, scores. The USA takes the lead. The final minutes were agonizing, the clock ticking down like molasses in January. But these young Americans, they held on, they fought like demons. And when the final buzzer sounded, the impossible had happened. The United States had defeated the Soviet Union. Al Michaels, with a voice choked with emotion, uttered those immortal words, "Do you believe in miracles? Yes!" The arena erupted, the country went bonkers, and the world watched in stunned silence. The miracle on ice transcended sports. It was a victory for the underdog, a testament to the power of belief, and a defining moment in American history. It showed the world that anything is possible, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and determination can prevail. This wasn't just a hockey game, folks, it was a cultural phenomenon, a story that continues to inspire generations of athletes and dreamers alike. It's a reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, miracles do happen.
We were just a bunch of kids, you know? No one believed in us, but Coach Brooks, he made us believe. That game, it was more than just hockey. It was about proving to ourselves and the world that we could do the impossible. And we did.
Aon Senna, the name itself evokes a sense of awe, of raw talent mixed with an almost spiritual connection to the art of racing. This man, he wasn't just driving those Formula One cars, he was wrestling them, dancing with them, pushing them beyond their limits. By 1991, Senna was already a legend, a 2-time Formula One world champion, locked in an epic rivalry with the Frenchman Alain Prost. But the Brazilian Grand Prix that year, that was a different beast altogether. The rain was coming down sideways. The track at Interlagos was more like a slip and slide than a racecourse. Conditions were treacherous, visibility was abysmal, and most drivers were just trying to keep their cars on the track. Not Senna, he was in a zone, a trance-like state where man and machine became one. He was throwing that McLaren around like it was an extension of his own body, defying the laws of physics with every turn. He was pushing the car to its absolute limit, and then some. The gearbox was failing. He was stuck in 6th gear, but still he pushed. He was like a man possessed, driven by an inner fire that only the greats possess. And the crowd, his home crowd, they were going wild. They knew they were witnessing something truly special, a display of skill and courage that bordered on the supernatural. When he crossed the finish line, arms raised in victory, the roar from the crowd was deafening. He'd done it. He'd conquered the elements. He'd conquered his rivals. He'd conquered the impossible. This wasn't just a race. It was a testament to the human spirit, a display of sheer willpower that transcended the sport itself. Senna's drive that day cemented his place in Formula One history, not just as a great driver, but as an icon. His tragic death at Imola just 3 years later only served to solidify his legend. Ayrton Senna, the man who danced with danger, the man who lived and breathed racing, the man who showed the world what it meant to be a true champion.
That race, it was something else. The conditions were brutal, but I felt this connection, this oneness with the car. It was like we were one entity, pushing through the storm together. Winning in front of my home crowd, it was a moment I'll never forget.
Chapter 3, 2009, Berlin. The stage was set for the World Athletics Championships, and all eyes were on one man, Usain Bolt. This Jamaican sensation, he wasn't just fast, he was a force of nature, a blur of speed and power that defied logic. He'd already sent shockwaves through the sporting world with his record-breaking performance at the Beijing Olympics. But Berlin, that was different. This was his chance to prove he wasn't a one-hit wonder, to etch his name in the history books as the undisputed fastest man alive.
The 100M final, it was more than just a race, it was an event. The world held its breath as I, cool as you like, stepped into the blocks.
The gun fired and he was gone, exploding out of the blocks like a cheetah on the hunt. His acceleration was unlike anything the world had ever seen. He was eating up the track, his stride effortless, his face a picture of pure determination. And then, with about 20 meters to go, he did the unthinkable. He slowed down, he looked around almost nonchalantly as if to say, is anyone else even trying? And then with a smile on his face, he crossed the finish line, shattering his own world record in the process. The time, a mind-blowing 9.58 seconds.
It was a performance that defied belief, a display of athleticism that bordered on the superhuman.
The world watched in awe, jaws on the floor, as Bolt celebrated his victory with his signature to-die world pose. He wasn't just breaking records, he was obliterating them, redefining what was humanly possible. Usain Bolt, the lightning bolt, had struck again, and the world of athletics would never be the same. He became a global icon, a symbol of speed, power, and charisma. His impact on track and field was immeasurable, inspiring a new generation of athletes to push their limits and chase their dreams. And that record, that 9.58, stands as a testament to his greatness, a mark that may never be broken. Usain Bolt, the legend, the showman, the fastest man to ever walk the earth. And Chapter 4, 1998 NBA Finals. The Chicago Bulls, led by the one and only Michael Jordan, were on the verge of a historic second three-peat. Standing in their way were the Utah Jazz, a team with championship aspirations of their own, led by the formidable duo of Karl Malone and John Stockton. The series was a slugfest, a back-and-forth battle between two titans of the game. But this wasn't just about basketball, it was about legacy. Rumors were swirling that this would be Jordan's last dance, his final act in a Chicago Bulls uniform.
Game 6, the tension was thicker than pea soup. The Bulls were down by 1 point with seconds ticking away. The ball found its way into my hands.
Time seemed to slow down as Jordan dribbled at the top of the key, his eyes locked on the basket, his face a mask of steely determination. He crossed over, shaking his defender, Brian Russell, off balance. Russell stumbled, and in that split second Jordan rose up, his tongue wagging, and released the shot. The ball arced through the air, a perfect parabola, and swished through the net as the buzzer sounded. The United Center erupted, the Bulls bench went wild, and Michael Jordan, the ultimate competitor, had done it again. He'd hit the game-winning shot, securing the championship for the Bulls and cementing his place as the greatest basketball player of all time.
That shot, it wasn't just about 2 points, it was a microcosm of my entire career. The unwavering belief, the killer instinct, the ability to rise to the occasion when it mattered most.
Michael Jordan's impact on basketball, on sports, on popular culture, it's immeasurable. He transcended the game, becoming a global icon, a symbol of excellence, and his last shot became the stuff of legend. It was the perfect ending to a storybook career, a final act of defiance that left the world speechless. Michael Jordan, the man who redefined what it meant to be a champion. The man who proved that with hard work, dedication, and an unquenchable thirst for victory, anything is possible. Chapter 5, 1986, Mexico. The World Cup, the biggest stage in football and a match charged with political and historical significance. Argentina versus England. Just 4 years earlier, the two nations had been at war over the Falkland Islands, adding another layer of tension to an already heated rivalry. Enter Diego Maradona, the diminutive Argentine genius, a man who could weave magic with a football at his feet. He was a national hero, a symbol of hope for a country still reeling from the scars of war. The game itself was a tense affair, a battle of wills between two proud footballing nations. Then, in the 51st minute, it happened. Maradona, chasing a seemingly lost cause, leapt into the air alongside England's goalkeeper, Peter Shilton. Shilton, all 6'1" of him, was the clear favourite to win the aerial duel. But Maradona, with a little help from his left hand, somehow managed to punch the ball into the back of the net. The England players were incensed, appealing to the referee for a handball, but the goal stood.
With a sly grin on my face, I later claimed it was the hand of God that had guided the ball into the net.
It was a moment of pure controversy, a goal that sparked outrage and debate across the globe. Was it cheating? Was it gamesmanship? Was it simply Maradona being Maradona? Whatever your take, there's no denying the impact of that goal. It became one of the most iconic moments in World Cup history, a symbol of Maradona's genius and his willingness to push the boundaries of what was acceptable. He went on to score another goal in that game, a mesmerizing solo effort that became known as the goal of the century, further cementing his legend. Argentina won the match and went on to lift the World Cup with Maradona the undisputed star of the tournament. The Hand of God goal remains a subject of debate to this day. It was a moment that divided opinion, but it also captured the imagination of the world. It was a reminder that in football, as in life, not everything is black and white. Diego Maradona, the flawed genius, the magician with the ball at his feet, the man who could provoke both adoration and outrage in equal measure. He was, and still is, a true icon of the beautiful game. Ultra, we've journeyed through time, reliving 5 of the most unbelievable moments in sports history. From the underdog triumph of the miracle on ice, to Michael Jordan's final act of defiance, from Ayrton Senna's mastery of the elements, to Usain Bolt's redefinition of speed, and Diego Maradona's controversial Hand of God. These moments have left an indelible mark on the sporting landscape. What makes these moments so special? It's the way they transcend the games themselves, capturing the human spirit in all its glory and complexity. It's the way they unite us in shared awe and disbelief, reminding us why we love sports in the first place. So what are your most unbelievable sports moments? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more epic sports content. Until next time, keep the spirit of competition alive.